Hello and welcome to the demo video for the Crack the Code game. This is a military style puzzle game which I've made in Excel. If you want to visit the web page for this, you can click on the red logo at the top here, the red box. Just double check that the version you've got is the same version number that's on the website. This is actually the second demo video that I'm recording for this one because I've updated it so much that it's changed so drastically from the first version that I thought I'd better just do another demo. So let me briefly go through how the game works with you. This is the intro tab. You can read through all these rules here and how the game works, and you can have a look and see which units beat what units. But essentially what you need to do is on the battlefield tab, and you have to guess 4 different units. And then what it'll do here is it'll tell you how many units you've got correct in the correct place and how many units you got correct in the wrong place. And then you can re-guess again. You can go through, you've got up to 12 turns to be able to guess the 4 unit combination. And that's essentially how the game works. That's the actual game. There's more built around it. So what I want to do first is take you to this mission codes. If we have a look at the mission codes, you can put your name in first. What this does is just basically puts your name on the spreadsheet. It doesn't go anywhere. But then you need to select the first briefing code. So if you go to the battlefield, it'll say select mission briefing code. You need to select a mission briefing code in order to start that. So if we go to the mission briefing codes and we select the next mission briefing code, now the game is basically set up. So we can go back to the battlefield, and now we need to select those 4 that we think it might be. So we start off by guessing. So we go with special forces, we go with soldiers, we go with tanks, and we go with, let's say, paras. So now what it says here is 1 green, 1 yellow, 2 red. So what it means is one of these is correct in the correct place. One of these is correct, but it's in the wrong place. And 2 of these are wrong. They're not even in there at all. So now we need to go through and figure out what to do. Now, essentially what we're trying to do is the enemy has picked a defense. You can't see what they are, but they've picked a defense, and whatever defense they've picked, we need to pick the exact opposite. So for example, let's go back to battlefield. This is the start of the north. So this is the north. So what we've selected here, special forces, will show in that picture there. So we need to pick the exact opposite of what they've picked up north there. So if we go back to if the special forces one is in fact correct, then that means that what they've picked there is a special force, which is patrol. They've got a patrol of the north, if that's the case. So we then need to pick special forces, but we don't know which one of those is correct because these flags aren't necessarily in the same order as the ones that are correct. So we now need to try something else. So let's assume that special forces is correct. Let's assume that tanks is correct, but in the wrong position. And let's assume that these 2 are completely wrong. So let's pick choppers and armor. Now we can see we've still got a green one, a yellow one, and 2 red ones, which is potentially helpful, but also potentially not helpful because we didn't know which one was the green one, which one was the yellow one. So we need to work through the logic like that. When I'm going to have a look and see what the answer is instead of sitting here playing this game all the time through the demo video, and I'll be back very shortly. Right, as it turns out, it wasn't special forces that were correct. It was actually tanks, then armor, because you can have the same one twice. That's what makes it a little bit more confusing. And then paras. So when we select that, we've got the full green. So as you can see here, paras was correct actually at the beginning, and tanks was there in the wrong place. And then the second time round, tanks again was there in the wrong place. Tanks was there in the wrong place, but armor was there in the correct place. So that's why we got the green and the yellow. Here we've got the correct code. So you need to work through that logic until you manage to isolate what the correct code is. And as soon as you get the correct one, you'll get 4 green flags, which means you've now won. It says battle 1. And then it tells you to go to select the mission debriefings code. So then what you do is you go to the mission, you select debriefing code, which essentially stamps that victory in place. It tells you you've got a personal best and a medal. I'll explain what those are in a second. it says clear the battlefield data. So you can go back here. You can clear that battlefield data. And once you've done that, you're essentially ready for the next game. It now says select the mission briefing code. So you can go back here and select the next mission briefing code in order to play the next game. And you can go on and go on and go on doing that same process for up to 100 games until you are forced to retire. Now, so what's the rest of the game? What does this prove? What are these personal bests? What are the medals? What's going on with all of that? Let me show you that. What I'm going to do is I've actually done another game which I've got going on, which has got a lot more of these codes in. So let me get that data. You probably won't be able to see the other spreadsheet, but let me collect that data, because what I'm going to do now is I'm going to copy that and I'm going to paste that one into this spreadsheet here, so that we can see what's going on with all these promotions and PBs and medals and whatnot. First of all, there are, if you get a personal best, what that means is your score. So here the score was 7. Obviously, the first time I played was a PB, but then I got 5, which was better than the 7. So that was a PB. Then I got 4, which was better than the 5. So that became a personal best, 3, so on and so forth. So what that will do on the battlefield is it'll actually mark off where your personal best is so that you can see what your best score was. Not only that, but the more that you win, you get promoted. So your rank goes up, as well as the insignia. It says how many you've lost, how many you've won, ratio, the average. And you earn medals for doing various things. So beating a personal best or getting how many wins in a row or whatever the case might be. If you want to see all of that, you can click on the personnel file. This would be your personnel file. It says what your name is, shows which medals you've earned, your rank, insignia. Here it gives your little image. You can change the gender from classified to male or female classified. You've got your promotion progress. That shows how far you've been promoted. So I'm almost halfway through the whole promotion thing. And it shows which medals you've earned, and it shows what you need to do to earn each of those medals. So once you've got those, once you achieve those medals, you can earn the medals, and they will in fact show up at the top here. You can also see how many victories, how many defeats, what your win ratio is, the best number of turns, the average, and then you can see how many times you got it in 1 turn, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I can see my kind of averaging here around about 6, 7, and 8 is the most that I've achieved. So what I didn't show you was how you can lose one. So how, because I haven't actually lost any battles in this game, but how do you lose a battle? And you lose a battle pretty much if you get to the end and you select these last 4 and you've selected everything below and you still don't have 4 green flags, then it'll say mission defeated. You still follow the same process. You still go to the mission code, select the debriefing code. That will say loss instead of victory. And then it'll keep track of all of your all of your data, so you can keep on going until you played 100 games. This at the beginning, as I said, this isn't involved in the game. It just gives you the rules down the side here, and it shows you what units beat what units, which doesn't really matter because you essentially playing using these flags. But when you do open it up and you do get 3 or 4 green flags, it'll show you what units the defense had, and you'll see that what you've got there directly opposes what the defense has got with regard to which one beats which one. So I hope that that's all understandable. Do have a look through the rules again down the side here and see if that all makes sense. But I think that should be it. And yeah, I hope that this game brings you a little bit of fun and excitement. Thank you very much, and goodbye.